kid. You want some of the good stuff? This answer, the solution, the cure, whatever you call it, I got it. But you gotta come with me.
Well, that was dirty and painful. Anyway, everybody knows that Perms are arguably the worst PLLs out there. The most popular algs come out to 21 and 17 moves respectively, and they're so slow. Using the technique that I'm going to show you in this video, you could theoretically never get an Perm again. So let's get into it. So what causes Perms? Perms happen when your corners are permuted in the right way for your OLL algorithm to give you a diagonal corner swap PLL. When this happens, you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting a Y perm or a V perm, a 1 in 6 chance of an E perm, and a 1 in 12 chance of either of the Perms. Luckily, this means we can tell when a diag swap is coming, using the same hint stickers that people use when they recognize COLL. So for any particular OLL, the first thing you'll want to do to never get an Perm from it is figure out which of the 7 corner OLLs it's made of. This should be pretty easy to spot. Then you'll need to figure out which CP case gives you a diagonal swap PLL. This will vary depending on the OLL case and which algorithm you use, but there will always be exactly one CP that gives you one. And finally, you need to learn a different OLL algorithm for that case that solves a different CP than your normal algorithm. It doesn't have to be the one that solves the diagonal CP, it just needs to be a different one. So let's go over some examples. So for this OLL, I normally use an algorithm that goes like this. But since it's a T case, because I have these two oriented and these two chameleon eyes, I know that I need to look at these 4 stickers to spot CP, and I know that when I have matching here and opposite here, doing that regular alg would give me a diag swap, in this case an Perm. So when I know that I would get a diag swap, instead of doing that I do a different algorithm that goes like this. And that will give me an adjacent PLL instead. I will also use that different alg when that will give me solved corners. So when I have matching here and here, I know that doing that different alg will give me a CP skip, sometimes a PLL skip as well. For this OLL, the most common algorithm goes like this. And you know that it will solve your CP when you have opposites here and matching here, because these are your hint stickers for a pi case like this. So when you have the opposite sort of case, like this, where you have your matching here and opposites here, you know that doing that regular alg would give you an Perm. So instead, you can do a different alg, which goes like this. And that will avoid the Perm. In fact, I use that second algorithm as my main OLL algorithm for that case, and I use the other one I showed to avoid that case's diag CP. So that's how you can avoid getting an Perm ever again, but there is an unfortunate catch. The problem is that in most cases, avoiding Perms is actually slower than just doing normal OLL and PLL. Let's talk about why for a second. First of all, this technique doesn't just avoid Perms, it also keeps you from getting any of the other diag swap PLLs. There's no reasonable way for most OLLs to avoid Perms but not the others. And when you think about those PLLs as a whole, they're not that bad. Sure, Perms are slow, but they're not super ridiculously slow. E-perms are really inconsistent, but they can be really fast, and V and Y perms are generally not too bad. So when you compare how long it takes to execute a diag swap PLL on average to how long it takes to execute an EPLL or an adjacent PLL on average, the difference isn't that extreme. It's maybe a few tenths of a second at most. In order for avoiding Perms to be faster, the difference in speed between your regular OLL and the OLL you use to avoid the Perm needs to be less than the difference between diag PLLs and whatever you would get by avoiding. And most of the time, this just isn't the case. But for certain cases, it's definitely worth it. So let me show you some of the best ones. So thank you so much for watching this video. Even if you don't end up avoiding as many end perms as you originally thought, this will teach you how to know when one could be coming, and that extra help with your recognition could still make you a little bit faster. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. I make a lot of tutorials to help people get faster, and I'm sure you'd enjoy what I make and what I'm going to make in the future. Also, big thanks to my brother for helping me with that little intro skit. If you want to check out his channel, which has a bunch of Fortnite stuff, if that's your kind of thing, there will be a link in the description. So that's all for me today. I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Brody, signing out.